Hi everyone, Sandy Wilkin here from Jackson, Ohio. I have another journal to share with you today. This one is made from 2 greeting cards, and I've entitled it Hummingbird Tales because it is mostly about hummingbirds. And I started this journal a couple weeks ago. I got the 2 signatures in and the cards put together, but I didn't get all the embellishments and tags and different things done. I started 2 weeks ago at a meeting in Hilliard, Ohio, at McAllister's Deli with the Ohio Junk Journalers Hilliard group. So had a nice time there, and I showed him what I was doing. So now I have the finished product to share with everyone. So now this journal is, of course, soft cover because it is 2 greeting cards put together. So for my closure, I used a little wooden hummingbird cutout, and this is from a package you can get at Dollar Tree. And then I used some Velcro to put together the clasp that I've used for the closure. And actually this is just the bottom part of a crochet doily, the flower part. And then when you turn it around this way, and I use the Velcro, it makes a nice little closure on this journal. Okay, then what I did was I took 2 cards and put them back to back facing the other way. So what happens is when you get sort of an accordion effect. Now I got this idea from Natasha. Her videos on YouTube are called Treasure Books, Natasha on Treasure Books. She called this some other kind of she didn't really call it accordion style. It was yo-yo or ho-yo or something she called it. But I'm calling it accordion style. So what I did was I took 2 greeting cards to start out with. And one of them faced this way. And then your signature would be sewed in here, and this would be your first little journal part. And then when that is glued back to back, then you have the other card facing this way, and then that you sew in a signature there. And when you're done sewing in the signatures, be sure that you use something to reinforce your journal itself, just to do some reinforcing. I did that. It's better to do it after you sew your signatures in, and then you make sure you get everything really close and binded well. So the first part of the journal, I have used some different kind of colored rickrack around the first card, and then this is what I use for my to bind up the where the signature was sewed in. So I make that a little bit more. That was a type of ribbon, I think. It was actually it was one of those metal ribbons that has the metal in it. And one side I took the metal out and left the metal in here. It makes it a little sturdier, your actual, where your signature's sewed in. Okay, then you open this one up and you have a little pocket there. I made that out of an envelope, the corner of an envelope that I cut. Then I put in this tag where you can put your name on it, whoever gets the journal this journal belongs to, or this book belongs to. And then you can put other tags in there. You can journal on the back of these tags if you wish. Again, I use some more washi tape for reinforcement here. I think that's another good idea to do because you want the journal to last when people are writing in it. And probably what you need, because of all the embellishments, is to get yourself a flat writing board or something when you're actually writing in your journal. So you can put something back here so that your writing doesn't get all messed up. But anyway, some more rickrack, some feather stickers, and a little thing I cut out of a magazine that says Journaling in Action. So that's a journal page. And then the next page was a pocket that I had made when I was just mass making ephemera. And it was magazine pictures collage with some plastic colorful leaves there. And then I made a guest check tag. You can journal on that with a napkin, decoupage napkin, a little bit of stamping. And so that went in this top pocket here that I'd already had in my stash. I'd made that pocket. It's kind of cool though. It looks like a little bird nest there with the pearl in it. And then this is a journaling spot with some trim here that is off of some lace. It's these little flowers. I like them really well. And then a little hummingbird stamp and a piece, a word that I've cut out. And I keep a whole bunch of these words in little folders like that. You actually, they're like the things that you put your photos in, like a photo album. I just cut out a bunch of words and I keep them in there so when I need them. So this is a journaling page. And then you can journal on the next page. It has a butterfly and some flowers. Then I found this paper in a book. I thought that was neat with all these different birds on it. So I put that piece in with some green rickrack or green lace. And then here's a nice hummingbird here. I'm not sure what the name of this hummingbird is here. But I put that in. I thought that was a pretty picture. Then this is a parchment paper, a doily. And it had kind of a lacy edge, but it was so big and it stuck out that I cut that off and just put this in. But I love the way that crinkles in the book. And then this is a page that you can do art with. You can take these hummingbirds and use your colored pencils or markers and make those really pretty. So I put that as an art page. Then some more, a little bit of more rickrack, and then a sticker that says hello today, some more journaling. Then this is a little, actually this is part of another card back here that you'll see that is sewed into the signature, and it sort of just made an extra little flap thing. So I put some different lace trim on that and put that hummingbird there. It's getting its nectar out of that flower. And then it's your day. You can write there if you wish. Then this is an envelope that I folded and made into the first, into this middle of the signature. And I tied it off with a hand charm that says handmade and a little wing. And again, you can journal here if you wish on this envelope. I just love this envelope because it was decorated with, hummingbirds. And then I use, again, some more things that I've cut out to put here. And then this, of course, opens up. So you can put all kind of memories in there. You can put ticket stubs, you can put pictures or whatever, quotes or whatever else you want there. And of course, this side opens up too for more memories and stuff to put in, or memorabilia that you want to put in. And then this, on this side of the envelope, makes a little pocket up here at the top. So I put this little ruby-throated hummingbird, shows how much they weigh, 2 to 3 grams. They're really tiny. A lot of these are found in our area. And then this is the calliope hummingbird, and it shows what they feed on. A little article about that. So that went in the top pocket or top corner of that envelope pocket, and then this little part of this tuck here. And then the next page was, the rest of that yellow fold out. That's the first part of it, and then here's the rest of it. It just opens up into a journaling spot. I love these when I find these stationary things like this that open up at thrift stores. I just buy them every time so I can use them in my journals. And then this was a junk mail envelope that I had already fixed up, making some stuff in my stash. I already had it and had hummingbirds in it. Had the black chimera hummingbird there and the ruby-throated one. And then this could be a pocket if you wish to be a pocket, but I just left it like that because I like the hummingbird showing. But anyway, this is a junk mail envelope. This is covered and then puts a picture inside. And then the next page was the back side of that was really pretty with the bird on it. And then this was Anna's hummingbird, shows where it's located mostly. Then this is a little quote, down in the forest something stirred. It was only the note of a bird. Just love that. So I made that into a little corner tuck space there with that. This is another ephemeral idea I got from Natasha on Treasure Books. And I think somebody else has this idea too with the envelope. And I've used the envelope idea too. But this one was like 2 pieces of paper that somebody had watercolored on. I think they were flowers. It was so pretty. I just folded it together and glued one side, and then you take your craft knife and you make little slits in this to make pockets. So it ended up being this slit up here, and on this was hummingbirds adore these flowers. So I put little tags in to show you what kind of flowers they like. Bee balm. Now they like other kind of flowers, but this is just 3 examples. Columbine and petunia. So this is really nice because it makes cute little pockets for things like this. So that was another thing I got from watching Natasha and sometimes the Paper Outpost. And then here's some real pretty trim, a ribbon or lace I used on this. Here's some more hummingbirds that you could do artwork on. Here's the rest of that parchment paper doily. Another hummingbird picture for this page with some different lace. And the rest of that paper with the birds on it. Here's a page called Unforgettable Moments. I have a stamp for that, so you can do journaling there. And here's some more pretty lace I used here. A little hummingbird there on this page, some more journaling. Always do journals, make sure that you have plenty of journaling for people to write in. That's what this main purpose of a journal is to keep your thoughts and memories and stuff down, or trips or whatever you go on. This was small enough to take with you on a vacation or something. And this is a little card that flips up. I'm always looking for these little cards at the thrift stores. Again, journaling. Then I left it open for a pocket and put this little, this was from an envelope. And I just kept that like you could journal that way on it, tag. Then the next page is these tags I found, these pockets I found at a thrift store. There were about 6 of them, just like that, with these tags in them. Already like this, so that was perfect. And all I had to do was cover up the front with a bird on it. And then put a little bit right there too. And of course I use a lot of my eyelash trim, different colors, match my books on my tags. And then the last page on this part of the Hummingbird Tales is a 3 flip down envelope with little journaling cards in each of the pockets. They kind of stick in there, but they're in there. And then that flips back up, and there's a little feather there to show you to pull that down. And so that's the first part. Again, I used some cloth binding to bind that signature really well there to the book. Okay, then we turn it over and we start on the other part. Again, I have a real pretty, some real pretty lace here, trim for this card. And then you open that one up and you've got the first page is another pocket. This is from an envelope again. And then these little things are what you use in bridge. They're bridge scorecards, and they're just wonderful for ephemera. I thought this one was pretty with these flowers because it matched the ones that were on this hummingbird. This is the Rufus hummingbird, and I got these, believe it or not, in a great big package of these. Great big package, and here's a bunch more of them. I'll just show you. At a thrift store for hardly anything. Here was a whole package of the ones that look like peacocks. And here's a whole package of the ones that look like butterflies. Then here is some birds at the birdhouse. And then this is another birdhouse with a cardinal and some other little birds. And then here's one with a bee. So if you do a bee journal or bee themed, you've got that piece to use as ephemera. So, boy, I was thrilled when I got that package of all those different kinds of bridge scorecards. Anyway, the next page is We Do Not Remember Days, We Remember Moments. Again, this is a journaling spot again with more lace. Here's another hummingbird. I'm not sure if that's the, I don't think that's, this is more the ruby-throated one, I think, maybe, or maybe that's a different one. But anyway, backyard chat. Here is some, here's a belly band I made, and I already had this piece made from earlier. And I don't think it opens up, but it's like, sort of like a specimen card. I put a feather in there. This is a junk mail envelope again, cut down. And Natasha on Treasure Book shows you how to do a lot of stuff with the junk mailer envelopes with windows. She has a whole tutorial on that, and this is kind of like what she does here. But anyway, this was some old vintage wrapping paper with feathers on it. I used that as the background. Then I made this little tag, and this talks about hummingbirds visiting this lady's feeder and what all she does to get them to her feeder and so on. So I put that little thing in there for information in that belly band. And then I used some more of that real pretty lace I had before. And there's another one of my stamps, Live Every Moment, Laugh Every Day, more journaling. This is an envelope again. that part of it is here, and look at the hummingbirds on it. And I just love that envelope, so I put a tag. Now you could also put something down in that little slot, but I didn't put anything there. I just put a tag in here that I had made with the hummingbird at a feeder, feeds at a handmade hanging feeder, little tag there with some eyelash trim on it there. Then we go again, and that's not the middle of the signature yet. This is an envelope that I've used again for a pocket, side pocket. And I put the Rufus hummingbird in there that I found that picture of. And then I found this word search. I loved it. Couldn't believe it. Hummingbirds, all these different kind of hummingbirds that you'll learn about, and you have to find them in the puzzle. So that's something fun to do. I always try to put fun things in my journals. And then that was some really cute paper with bird's nests, and then I used some purple rickrack there. Here's another journaling page. Here's another picture of a butterfly that I made this into a pocket, and I used this really neat paper that had these feathers on it. This has probably been used in some of my peacock journals too. I love that paper. And then this tag is one that a friend of mine, Rhonda Binkley, made, and I just added, she had another bird or butterfly there, and I just put that little hummingbird on there, put that in that pocket. And again, if I can get that down in there, let's keep it from going down yet. Oh, there we go, I think. Yeah. And then some more trim there, some more lace. This is the notes page. It kind of pulls down for you to put more journaling. This is another one of those pockets that I had made already when I was making some ephemera, and I used that paper with the feathers to cover the junk mail envelope, and then put this beautiful tag in there. And since it had a hummingbird, I thought, well, that's perfect to use in this journal. So that worked out. So that goes back down in there. Sometimes it's a little hard to get them in. And then that was had some lace on this side. This is a paper clip embellishment that I had already made before, a little birdhouse, and I thought that just fits right there. So this is some old wrapping paper again, and I put it here to make 2 pockets on the side. And then here is a journaling card in here, and then that goes back on there. Let me get it back on. Oops. There we go. And then in the middle of the signature again is another envelope. I love this one. And it made 2 pockets here. Again, here was my little card again. This is the hummingbird when I had gotten that stash of at the thrift store, all those little scorecards. And then this is a altered playing card I did. All I did here was cut out the middle of the playing card and use some ink to ink it up, and then put some paper on the back, and then put this picture in the middle there. I love to alter playing cards. I've got a bunch of these for ideas. And then in this signature, tied off with a little tiny silver birdhouse and a little tiny hummingbird. So that goes on to the, oh yeah, and there's again, these 2 made pockets. So there was a bird tag, and in this one was just a little notebook-like thing that I put together for that, more journaling spots. You could journal there, or put a quote there, or a word, any of those things. Same thing here. Okay, then on this side was that other pocket, and I found this cut out somewhere, and so I just added that on, put this little bookmark in there. And I love this trim with the roses on it. Use that. Then here's another picture of a beautiful hummingbird. Take time for the dreamer in you. Okay, so more journaling space, more washi tape for reinforcement. And then this was something I cut out of the magazine, a bird book. It showed different kinds of hummingbirds and the region that they live in. So we live here in the Northeast, so most of the time we're just going to see the ruby-throated hummingbird, as it shows us there, but it shows where the other ones live. Then this is a fabric flip where you can have some secret journaling, and this is some lace on it, and then again I put a charm on there, a little silver hummingbird. And then here we go. It's another one of these belly band things that I had made before with the feather sticker. And I just use it as this type of belly band. And I think this one does open up again. You could use the inside of that if you wanted to, but I just put this other card in as a journaling card. The other part of that envelope earlier that I showed you with the hummingbirds with some trim on it. And this is a little hummingbird cutout. I just stuck him in that little pocket. And then this is a little bird tag here in this pocket. And then this is a photo sleeve for you to put whatever picture you'd like in there. Your own picture. Maybe you can put a picture of your garden, or maybe you have a hummingbird feeder with hummingbirds. That would be perfect for inside that little. So it is actually a photo sleeve. More trim, and then this is kind of fun. Several people on their videos have made one of these secret compartment things. And you do it with a paper bag. You just cut off the bottom of a paper bag, and I put a little hold on there. So you pull out this little hold, and then you look inside, and it makes a secret pocket down in there. And what do I have in that secret pocket? Some more charms. Another hummingbird charm, and a birdhouse and a leaf charm. So you could put anything you wanted in that little secret pocket, but that's a lot of fun. I decorated up with all those little feathers. Then this is I had made this with some other stash one time when I was making a bunch of stuff. This is a hidden paper clip. So the paper clip is down inside under this piece of paper. And then when you put it on, you can't see the paper clip, so you decorate both sides, and then you use that to hold stuff. You can use it to tuck stuff in, and I did on the other side. I had this journaling card tucked in there, and there's more journaling space. I had this little journaling card in there, so that just worked out fine. Put some blingy trim that I got at Dollar Tree on there. And then the last page is another one of those pockets that I bought together with the tags that went with it. And then again, I put this Rufus hummingbird in this pocket. And you could put your memories or anything you wanted in there. And again, that's the end of that one. So I hope you enjoyed Hummingbird Tales and saw how I did that, made that little accordion type journal. And I'll see you next time with my next junk journal. Bye-bye.